Hello, hello, hello. I'm Vicky Igbokwe-Ozoagu, your lighter leadership coach, and welcome to the Lighter Leadership Podcast. Now, something that comes up a lot in my work is this feeling of being ready, but not quite starting. Let me know if this sounds familiar. You have the idea, you know what you want to move towards, you've thought about it, but you haven't shared it yet. And when you slow that down, the reason is usually the same. You're waiting for it to feel clearer, more formed, certain, ready, which I understand, right? Intellectually, I get it. It makes sense because you and I have both been taught that before you put something out into the world, it should be polished, complete, thought through. So you wait, you refine, you think about how to say it, you imagine how it will land. And in that process, time passes, momentum drops, and the thing you were close to starting stays in your head, in your heart, but it doesn't get out into the world. And this came up in a recent coaching conversation I was having with a client. A clear direction, strong thinking, real experience behind it, and still they were stalling. Not because there wasn't anything to say, but because it didn't feel ready to be seen yet. So the shift we landed on was this: start messy. Not when it's perfect, when everything is clear, or when you feel like you have the full picture. Start messy, start now. Share the idea before it's even fully formed. Write the post you've been refining for the last 2 weeks. Respond to something instead of waiting to create something original. Because clarity doesn't come before action, it actually comes through it. And this is the part that often gets missed. You don't get clearer by thinking about it more. Listen, from my experience, the total opposite. You get clearer by seeing how it lands. You get clearer by putting it out into the world. You get clearer because you understand what resonates, what doesn't, and what you actually want to say differently next time. And that produces a feedback loop that is super, super powerful and only exists once you start. And yes, I know there is a risk. What if the people don't like what I'm saying? What if it doesn't land the way that you want to? What if it feels uncomfortable? What if it doesn't feel like your best work? Yeah, I get it. And also, that is a part of the journey. That is the learning. Because if you're waiting to remove the risk, it just delays it. And even saying the word risk, actually, what you're getting is learning, right? So for me, there is no real risk. Okay. You want me to say there's a little bit. We'll go with that. But staying in that loop just keeps it delayed. You stay hidden and no one knows your greatness. Now, fun fact, the start of this podcast came about because my wonderful coach basically told me about myself and said, you just need to start, and I want you to start messy. And she threw me a challenge because I'd been talking about starting this podcast for years. Said you've got 48 hours to record, to write, record, and publish your first episode. And I absolutely clutched my imaginary pearls. But I did it. Did I do it in 48 hours? No, I think I did it in 72 hours. But I did it. And the rest is history because here we are. So we wouldn't be in this connection, in this dialogue, in this conversation if I had waited for everything to be right before I started. So here's the question I want you to reflect on this week. What are you protecting and what is it costing you? Because starting messy isn't about lowering your standards, it's about changing your relationship with how things begin. Everything you now see as clear, confident, established started in a version that wasn't. So if anything lands with you in this episode, I want you to really hear me say you don't need to be clearer before you start. Starting is what creates the clarity. So here's your bonus question for this week. What is one thing you could share this week before it feels ready? One thing you can share this week before it feels ready. And if you're looking for some protected thinking time, you are always welcome to join me at the next Lighter Leadership Reset. 30 minutes, one question, silent time, thinking time, just for you. All the information you need for the next reset is in the show notes. Lots of love to you. And remember, your leadership gets to be lighter.